A very controversial project is on the agenda at this morning's Board of County Commissioners meeting. Liz Ryan tells us what it is.
I spoke to Wayne Larson, Director of Public Affairs for St. Johns County. One agenda item is something that's caused a lot of controversy in St. Augustine South.
The Shore Drive Trail award of construction project for the board to consider. This is a project that would provide for a 8-foot multi-use path along Shore Drive.
Some people love the idea of a trail there. Others worry that when the river breaches, the asphalt trail will be compromised. They're also concerned about the effect the trail may have on vegetation and trees so close to the Matanzas River. Other items up for discussion today:
update on efforts to improve infrastructure of public facilities such as streets and roads. We'll have a presentation on a economic development incentive request for a new healthcare company that will provide a variety of residential treatment programs and services. The healthcare company would provide a lot of high-wage career-level jobs.
Another meeting happening today is the City of St. Augustine Planning and Zoning Board meeting at 1 o'clock. One agenda item getting attention is a request to remove several trees on Theodore Street in an environmentally sensitive area near the San Sebastian River. Marta Hahn of the Ravenswood Neighborhood Association doesn't want to see any more development there.
But a number of developers see that property as homes that can be developed with waterfront and could be quite expensive.
Ryan Carter is representing the property owner and says the land was platted years ago for a single-family home. He says the trees need to be removed to provide adequate access to the property. Marta Hahn is concerned about destruction of wildlife habitat so close to the San Sebastian River.
It's teeming with life. So many wading birds, gray blue herons, painted buntings, the oyster beds, of course. We hope that Planning and Zoning Board will vote against permits to destroy this fragile habitat.
Both of today's meetings are, as always, open to the public. For St. Augustine's Local Morning News, I'm Liz Ryan.
This local news is a service of your hometown Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you.
We applied for a grant through the state, which we ultimately received, a $3 million grant for the purposes of acquiring a facility to house veterans.
Home Again St. John's is converting a St. Augustine motel to provide long-term housing to homeless veterans.
Chairman Bill Dudley with the Veterans Council of St. Johns County says they plan to have the motel available to veterans very soon.
We've got a few things to do to make it ready, if you will. We've got a few modifications and things got to do, not much, but it's pretty much ready now because it actually has people that are renting rooms there that were when it was still as an operational motel. But we are going to do a few things to modifications to improve some things.
Dudley on what it takes to qualify.
Of course, they've got to be a veteran. They've got to be a veteran in good standing. They can't be a veteran who has a criminal background, although we will accept, certain ones who've been arrested for certain things, as long as it's not something that's been a capital offense or a sexual type offense.
Dudley says they also plan to provide additional services.
We will be assisting them and helping them to find permanent housing someplace while they're staying there as well. But we will be working with them in terms of trying to help them get employed if they're not employed, helping them to get into the VA healthcare system if they're not in the VA healthcare system, and helping them find permanent housing.
Once the Veterans Village officially opens, it will be the only facility of its kind in St. Johns County. For St. Augustine's Local Morning News, I'm Daryl Moody.
The Florida Department of Transportation is dedicated to keeping impaired drivers off the roadways that will be extra busy during the springtime travel season.
The Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles, Florida Division of the Highway Patrol, along with campaign partners at the Florida Department of Transportation, Florida Sheriff's Association, the Florida Police Chiefs Association, and AAA, want to remind Florida residents and visitors to enjoy the beautiful weather and never drive impaired.
Drugs affect your ability to drive safely, which is why we're constantly looking to take drug drivers off of Florida's roadways. Impaired driving is extremely dangerous and has life-altering consequences. It doesn't matter what type of drug you've taken, because at the end of the day, it's my duty to make this walk and tell a family that a drug-impaired driver has killed someone they love. Never drive impaired.
Statistically, an average of 1,200 people die in Florida a year because of impaired driving. That's 1,200 preventable deaths and 1,200 broken families. And FHP Colonel Gary Howes II adds, while law enforcement will be doing their job to keep Florida's roads safe, everyone who gets behind the wheel must also do their part by taking responsibility for their actions and not driving while impaired, which means celebrating safely should always include a sober ride home. And there are stiff penalties for DUI. In Florida, your driver's license will be revoked for a minimum of 180 days. The fine is up to $5,000, and a DUI conviction stays on your driving record for 75 years. For St. Augustine's Local Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
And now you're up to date with St. Augustine's Local Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.